Look, if you're looking for some cheesy romantic advice that tells you to just listen to her words, close this page right now and stop wasting my time and yours. This video isn't for you. This isn't a place for weak men who need everything dictated to them. In this section, I'm going to expose a truth that if you don't master, your partner will have buried you in her mind long before she actually leaves. Women say their most dangerous things through silence and facial muscles, not their tongues. I've experienced the bitterness of how ignoring a subtle smirk or a slight shift in body posture caused me to lose all my authority in a single night. I learned that if you can't read the hidden layers of feminine behavior like a war map, you're just a low-level infantryman destined to be a casualty in this game. Either learn to be a brilliant translator of these hidden signals or prepare to be kicked out of your relationship with a cold, "I don't feel anything for you anymore." Step into the unseen. Welcome to the ultimate masterclass in decoding the female mind. The biological radar and hidden mimicry, when eyes speak before the tongue. Hello, dear followers. Today, in the 8th episode of our 2nd season, we are entering one of the most mysterious and yet practical topics in relationships: women's body language. I'm sure it has happened to you. You ask your partner, "Is something wrong?" And she replies with a cold but firm, "No, I'm fine," while her entire being is screaming that a disaster is on the way. The big question is, why don't women directly express what is in their hearts? And more importantly, how can a man be a faithful translator of these heavy silences and contradictory signals? Let's start from the deep layer of evolutionary psychology. Due to a more complex brain structure in the emotional processing areas and the right hemisphere, women possess an extraordinary power to send and receive nonverbal signals. Scientifically speaking, a woman's brain acts like a 360-degree radar to maintain the family's emotional survival. When a woman is angry, sad, or even just slightly hurt, her body language activates much faster than her vocal cords. For instance, pay close attention to constant blinking or a slight twitch at the corner of the lip. In the high-stress world of February 2026, where we are constantly bombarded with stressful news, from the momentary fluctuations of gold and dollar prices threatening household psychological security to the intimidating advancements in artificial intelligence injecting uncertainty into daily life, women use body language as a defensive shield more than ever. When she sits across from you and taps her fingers irregularly on the table, or when her pupils slightly contract while you speak, she is sending you a security code. She wants to see if you are connected enough to her to notice her internal storm without the need for words. In this part, I want to emphasize that women expect the man in their life to be a skilled decoder. For a woman, the fact that you realize she is upset without her having to explain is the height of love and security. My critique of today's digital life is that we are so buried in our phones, analyzing economic charts of currency and tech, that we fail to see the emotional oscillations of our partners visible in their facial mimicry. You must learn to notice the tightening of jaw muscles or the posture of guarded arms before things escalate to shouting. In the following parts, we will dig through much more detailed scenarios of these nonverbal confrontations. The paradox of "I'm fine" and escape signals when the body does not lie. Let's enter the second layer of this behavioral labyrinth, where words act as a cover and the body acts as the revealer of truth. We've all been there. In a tense home atmosphere, you ask, "Honey, is something wrong?" And she, without looking up from her phone or book, answers with a tone colder than ice, "No, I'm fine." This is where an average man is deceived by words and goes back to his own business, checking gold and dollar prices or the latest technology news. But an aware man knows that the word "fine" is actually an emotional time bomb whose fuse is hidden in her body language. Pay attention to physical distance. In the psychology of space, proxemics, When a woman is emotionally hurt, she draws an invisible wall around herself. If she always sat right next to you while watching a movie but now sits even 20 centimeters further away, angling her body slightly toward the exit, this is a no-fly zone. This space screams that the connection security has been breached. This is an instinctive defensive reaction rooted in ancient times when creatures turned sideways to protect their heart and vital organs from a threat. Now, look at her hands. Hands are the most honest parts of the body because voluntary control over them during stress is extremely difficult. If her arms are crossed tightly over her chest with her fingers tucked away, she is in turtle mode, protecting her core. But a more dangerous signal is when she nervously fidgets with her jewelry, perhaps her wedding ring or a necklace. In body language, this is self-soothing. It means she is under such emotional pressure that she must touch familiar objects to calm herself because she is not receiving that calm from you. In the modern world of 2026, where stresses from rapid AI changes and economic competition have become part of the fabric of our lives, these micro-behaviors have increased significantly. A woman might be talking about next week's travel plans, but if she is simultaneously pressing her thumb into the palm of her other hand, she is suppressing deep anxiety. My critique of men today is that they only read the news headlines, both in world politics and in their own homes. They wait for the woman to reach the point of explosion and screaming to realize there is a problem, while for the past 10 minutes, her body has been sending SOS signals through constant toe tapping or clenched lips. In this section of our discussion, we want to step out of the frame of daily life and take refuge in the silver screen of cinema, a place where body language is the only tool for conveying hidden truths. Why do we always say that great actors speak with their eyes? Because they have learned that body language portrays the human subconscious. Let's dissect the brilliant film The Bridges of Madison County, starring Meryl Streep. In the famous scene inside the truck, while it's raining and she has her hand on the door handle, no dialogue is exchanged. Yet, her body language, that slight tremor of her fingers on the cold metal and the pressure she applies to her lips, shows the entire internal conflict of a woman, a fierce desire to escape, yet a heavy commitment to stay. Women in real life are exactly like this. When a woman, in the middle of a family discussion, suddenly starts obsessively rearranging objects on the table or fidgeting with the corner of her scarf, she is performing that same scene. She is containing a storm. My critique of the traditional male gaze is that we only see the action, whereas in the world of women, micro-reactions are everything. In the movie Titanic, when Rose, Kate Winslet, sits across from her tyrannical fiancé, the way she looks at her plate and the way she grips her fork reveals a suppressed class and gender rage. She screams with her body language that, "I am suffocating in this golden cage," while her fiancé only thinks about the price of the diamonds and gold around her neck. This is precisely the mistake men make in 2026. They are drowned in analyzing inflation rates, currency market fluctuations, and breathtaking technology advancements, but they fail to notice that their partner, right next to them, is signaling exhaustion and emotional burnout by constantly shrugging one shoulder or rubbing the back of her neck. In the psychology of imagery, when a woman places her hand horizontally across her forehead, she is drawing a curtain between herself and the bitter reality in front of her. She no longer wants to see. She is censoring your presence in her mind. Let's look at a modern trend in lifestyle: defensive phone usage. When in a restaurant or at home, a woman immediately picks up her phone after a sentence of yours and starts scrolling intensely. This is not a technological move. It is a digital wall. She is telling you through body language, "My virtual world is safer and more attractive than a conversation with you." My critique is that instead of fixing this gap, we pick up our own phones, and this marks the gradual death of the bond. In this part, we learn that to understand a woman, we must close our eyes to words and open them to the unconscious movements of facial muscles. We have reached the final station of this deep analysis. So far, we've learned how women's emotional radars are activated and how the word fine can be a mask for a volcano. But now the key question is, what should a man do when he notices these negative or contradictory signals? Many men, upon realizing their partner's body language is cold or defensive, become guarded themselves, which marks the beginning of a grueling Cold War. But the strategy of an aware man in 2026 is to use inverse mirroring. The first step is engineering the physical space. If your partner is sending signals of emotional blockage by sitting with crossed arms or turning away, you should not stand over her or approach her with an aggressive tone. In relationship psychology, this is called vertical tension. To break this atmosphere, you must level your eyes with hers. Sit down, lean your body slightly toward her, but not so much that you invade her private space, and show your palms openly. Showing palms in universal body language means, I have no weapons, and my intention is peace. This sends a message to the woman's nervous system that there is no need to continue the defensive guard. The second point is empathetic mirroring technique. If she sighs, you shouldn't ask angrily, "Why are you sighing?" Instead, take a deep breath yourself, maintain your calm, and say in a voice lower than usual, "I see your shoulders are very tense, as if a heavy burden is on your heart. I am here to lift some of that burden if you want." Your sentence, combined with your calm body, acts like a strong firewall that prevents external stresses from penetrating. In today's fast-paced world, where gold and dollar fluctuations or worrying technology news surround us, the home must be a realm of stillness. Strategic action plan for this week. The 3-second rule. Before reacting verbally to her cold words, look at her body language for 3 seconds. Is she tapping her feet? Is she picking at her nails? These 3 seconds give you the chance to respond instead of react. Soft eye contact. Learn to look into her eyes without aggressive staring. Eyes tend to wander when hiding pain. With your secure gaze, let her take refuge in the anchor of your look. The power of secure touch. If the relationship status allows, a brief touch on the arm or holding her hands, when they are cold, can immediately raise oxytocin levels and break the physical guard. Final atmosphere. Review. Friends, do not forget that in the turbulent market of currency and coins, you might not be able to create stability, but in the emotional market of your home, you are the central bank of security. Do not let the coldness of your partner's body language turn you cold as well. If the weather outside is cloudy and technology news speaks of a soulless future, maintain humanity and the warmth of the relationship by understanding your partner's wordless language. A woman might never tell you what she is suffering from, but her entire being screams it. You just need to arm your eyes with knowledge and love. In episode 17, we will head to the vital topic of hidden red lines, what things destroy a woman's pride, where we learn how to navigate the unexploded mines of personality.